After seeing some sketches in his room, a doctor named Rasmussen looks terrified and eventually picks up a knife in the kitchen before going outside to kill himself. Elsewhere, a man named Leighton is at an event, speaking about a new drug that his company is working on. He says the drug is a memory enhancer that will help people relive moments in the past, just as if it is happening again. After the event, Leighton meets one of his employees, Dr. Jeremy, and asks for an update on the trials for the new drug. Jeremy says the trials are going well and the side effects have been minimal. However, Leighton says it won't matter until more human trials prove it is safe. Jeremy then says he's organizing some trials during the weekend, after which Leighton tells him not to let humanity down because the drug is important. Meanwhile, a girl named Anna is complaining to her bartender friend Doug about needing a new job. Just as they talk, a guy named Den walks up to Doug to inform him that one of his customers needs help. Doug asks for the person's name, but Den says he didn't get it, so he'll have to ask. As he's heading back, Den and Anna stare at each other, and she seems to like him. Doug also sees how Anna looks at Den, but she pretends it is nothing. Anna then asks if he knows anyone who is hiring, and Doug gives her a flyer of a drug trial that pays $2,000. After looking at the flyer, she looks interested and jokes about helping science. The next day, a group of volunteers listen to Jeremy as he starts talking about the formalities of the trials. Anna arrives late, and she also sees that Den is one of the volunteers. Jeremy tells all of them that while some people will receive the drug being tested, others will be injected with a placebo that has no effect. He adds that he'll be available to see them if they feel weird, though he warns that they must not tell the other patients how they feel. Jeremy then asks for their phones and keys. Anna asks why they have to drop it, and the doctor says contact with the outside world is prohibited because they don't want the volunteers to share any information about the drug with the public. He also says they won't be allowed to leave the building after they've been administered the drug. After his speech, he hands them over to a nurse named Curtis, who shows the volunteers around and tells them to follow all the rules to avoid giving him any problems. He shows them where they'll be staying, after which he leaves. Not long after, a girl named Kristen starts talking to Anna about school and how she needs the money from the trial because her dad cut her allowance for summer. As Kristen then says, she hopes the research facility will be like summer camp. A boy named Scratch interrupts and says it's summer camp, but with drugs. Kristen says that's not how she sees it, but Scratch insists that the reason they're there is to be tested, so they'll be dosed with drugs from time to time. As she leaves, Scratch calls her a newbie, and Anna asks him how many trials he has been to. Scratch tells her he has lost count, after which he says it's a good way to make some quick cash and also eat free food. Scratch soon leaves, and Anna is left alone with her thoughts. It then turns out Jeremy is watching them from a room opposite them, but they can't see him. Shortly after, the volunteers are asked to come over to receive their first dose of the drug. While they're in line, Den starts talking to Anna, and she jokingly asks if he has been stalking her because she doesn't want to believe it's just a coincidence. Den says Doug also gave him the flyer, and that's why he's there. As Anna is about to be injected, she starts to have doubts about continuing the trials. She asks several questions about the drug's effects, and even though Jeremy seems uncomfortable with the questions, he tells her that results depend on each volunteer. Den tells her she doesn't have to do it, and Jeremy also says when the drug is administered, she won't be able to leave. However, she eventually goes through with it. Shortly after, a guy named Marcus starts playing snooker while Anna and Kristen watch. He seems really arrogant about how good he is and says he's looking for someone to challenge him. He points to Anna to play against him, but she says she doesn't know how to play. To stop him from bothering Anna, Den volunteers to play Marcus. Den also happens to be good, but after a while, Marcus is left with an easy shot to win. However, he misses the shot. As he jokes about missing it, he notices that the ball returns to how it was before he missed the shot. He asks Den if he did anything, but Den and the girls look confused as they say he hasn't played the shot. Marcus doesn't know what to think, but he plays the shot again and misses. While he tries to understand what happened, Curtis comes to get him, saying Jeremy wants to see him. As Marcus enters Jeremy's office and starts explaining what happened, Kristen suddenly doesn't feel well as she listens to a girl complain about Marcus's arrogance. Kristen says she's going to the restroom, and when she gets there, she washes her face and then decides to use the toilet. As she pushes the door, Anna screams at her for trying to barge in, and interestingly, Kristen returns to the point where the girl was complaining to her about Marcus. Kristen is shocked to experience it all over again, even when she enters the restroom and sees Anna scream at her again. Meanwhile, Jeremy tells Marcus not to say anything about what happened to the others. He says if he tells them, their brain might trigger a response that makes them feel the same thing, even when they're okay. As he's leaving, Kristen is also brought in to explain what happened to her. Later on, Kristen tells Scratch and the others how she felt. Scratch looks disappointed because it seems he got the placebo, but Den also says it's what he got too. Curtis then comes to tell them that it'll soon be lights out. When he leaves, Scratch brings up a theory that Kristen might be remembering the future, but none of them understand what he's saying. Kristen also asks Marcus about what he saw, but he says he didn't see anything and it's not her business. The lights soon go off, and when the other head to their beds, Anna tells Den she didn't sign up for what's happening and she'll try to leave in the morning. Later that night, Marcus realizes his new abilities can help him cheat at a poker game. Elsewhere, Layton calls Jeremy to ask for an update. Jeremy says things are going fine, though he hasn't seen Dr. Rasmussen. Layton says he was found dead in front of his house and adds that Rasmussen killed himself and also had some sketches with him. Jeremy looks shocked and immediately opens his drawer. He brings out a folder containing some sketches with a message on it reading, "Kill yourself, or I kill them all." He ends the call while Layton is still trying to talk to him, and since he suspects that something might be wrong, Layton tells his driver to take him to the research facility. Later that night, Anna struggles to sleep and decides to go to the restroom. While she's there, she suddenly hears a loud scream and runs outside. She then sees that everyone in the room is choking to death after inhaling a dangerous gas. As she tries to open the door, she sees all of them die, and suddenly, she gets taken back to the moment she is still in the bathroom. She immediately runs to check the room, but sees that everyone is fine. She takes her bag and heads for the door, but since it's locked, she starts hitting it hard until Curtis and the other volunteers wake up. Anna says something bad is going to happen and all the volunteers will die. However, Curtis sedates her and tells the others to stay back, saying Anna is experiencing serious side effects. He then takes her to Jeremy, who also says she's experiencing strange side effects. As Anna begs for him to let her leave, he says he can't and that things will now be worse for her. Meanwhile, the guard at the reception sees a strange person outside and decides to go and check who it is. However, it turns out to be a trap and the man is killed. Shortly after, Marcus packs his things and wakes Kristen up, asking if she wants to leave. She joins him, but before they go far, Den sees them and asks where they're going. Marcus says he's going to a casino to use his new abilities. Kristen also says she wants to leave, and Den finally agrees to join them. As they find a way out of their quarters, Den starts opening doors to look for Anna, and Marcus realizes it is why he came. Den says he can't leave her, but Marcus doesn't like this. They eventually follow him as he enters a room, and it turns out to be the same room Jeremy was observing them from the other day. They then see Curtis walking around, but he can't see them. Shortly after, when they see him again, someone has slit his throat and he's bleeding seriously. They are terrified, and as they hear footsteps in front of the room, they're hiding. They immediately lock it before moving around to find their way out. Meanwhile, Anna manages to free herself but doesn't get far before getting visions about how her friends die. She then suddenly finds herself strapped back to the bed. Elsewhere, Den, Kristen, and Marcus find their way out. However, they suddenly see Scratch running behind them. He says he saw them running and just followed. They all get into Den's car, but before they leave, Den says they need to help the others. Marcus disagrees, but Den calls him a coward before going back into the facility with the car keys. Kristen and Marcus join him, but Scratch says he'll wait for them in the car. When they get back in, they decide to go back upstairs to get the others. However, they start smelling a dangerous gas and realize that someone is trying to kill the others. Anna finally gets to free herself, and as she smells the gas, she runs to the room. She gets there late and watches the other volunteers die, with Den, Kristen, and Marcus also arriving, as they all look devastated. With Anna saying she also saw it happen like that in her vision, they notice that they can't find Kristen. Kristen goes to the restroom to calm herself and wash her face. While at it, she sees blood on a door and touches it, only to see someone open the other door. Kristen immediately runs and hides inside the trash chute. However, she starts to fall and gets injured by barbed wires. When her friends find where she went through, they locate the chute's end, but don't find her there. They then realize that someone is trying to kill them, and the person knows what's going to happen to them before it does. Marcus asks Anna if she saw anything related to Kristen's death, but she says what she saw was different. He then asks if there's anything she saw that can help them. Suddenly, she remembers seeing a door get locked, and she asks the others to run with her. However, their way out gets locked, and they have to take another route. They see Den's car and try to call Scratch, but he can't hear them. It then turns out that Scratch was actually stealing some of the drugs in the facility, and that was why he was able to see them when they were running away. They start looking for another way to escape. As Den checks the cameras, Marcus blames Anna for not helping with her visions. While they argue, Den sees that the cameras are getting shut down. They then decide to look for Jeremy because he might be able to explain what's going on. As they find the location of his office, they head over to look for him. Meanwhile, Scratch leaves the car and tries to go back into the facility, but when there's no way in, he hides in a garage where he sees some tools and a sketch of himself. Den and the others finally find Jeremy's office, but he's not there. As they continue looking around, they see a video of Jeremy and Dr. Rasmussen interrogating a test subject named Pascal, who then faces the camera and mentions Den's name. Den is shocked by this, and he realizes that even though the video was recorded months ago, Pascal knew they'd eventually find it. As they also find the sketches with the death threat, they hear a phone ring and run to get it. It turns out to be Scratch, who tells them where he is. They tell him all the others are dead, and there's no way out for them. Scratch tells them the facility has a biohazard bunker and they can hide there. After the call ends, Marcus sees a knife on the table and decides to keep it, even though Den doesn't like it. As they then go around to find the bunker, they see a locked door, and as Marcus says he's not going in first, Den says he will. Anna tells him he doesn't have to worry about anything happening, and Marcus realizes that there's something she's not telling them. Den asks Anna what she saw, and she says she saw them die. Anna says Den died by drowning while Marcus died in the hallway. Marcus gets angry because it's not specific enough, but they continue moving. They finally find the bunker. However, Jeremy is inside, and he refuses to open it. They tell him to at least tell them about Pascal, and he says Pascal was one of the older test subjects who had severe complications that affected his brain and allowed him to start seeing random things from the past and future. As Den then confronts Jeremy with the sketches he saw, he realizes that Pascal wants Jeremy and not them, but the doctor is trying to hide from him. Meanwhile, Scratch injects himself so he can also get visions. He heads back outside, only to have a vision that he gets killed when he enters the car. He then decides to return to the garage, but Pascal appears, so he runs into the car. Before he can do anything, Pascal appears inside the car and kills him. The group then continue thinking of how to avoid getting killed. Marcus then says they need to do something that surprises Pascal, because it seems he's always a step ahead. As he mentions that they can hurt Anna, Den gets angry and tells him not to think about it. While they're talking, they start hearing bangs on the door. Luckily, they find an escape route, but Marcus can't help but try out his theory. He hits a pipe on Anna, and this gets Den angry, so they start fighting. Marcus brings out his knife and tries to stab Den, but he's the one who gets stabbed and starts bleeding. As Pascal stops banging the door, Marcus goes outside to see if he's still there. However, Anna and Den also head outside, only to see Marcus in the hallway already dead. As Den and Anna panic and wonder what to do next, Den comes up with an idea. He runs to the roof with Anna and gives her his jacket, while saying they have to jump down together. He, however, only pushes her down and tells her to check his jacket for the car keys so she can go and get help, while he tries to find Pascal and end his games. Anna doesn't look happy with this, but he tells her to follow the plan. She heads for the car and opens it only to see Scratch's dead body. As she enters, she also sees the drug he injected himself with and keeps it. She turns on the car and sees Kristen's dead body opposite her. Despite being terrified by this, she realizes that Kristen didn't die the way she saw it in her visions. She then goes back in to meet Jeremy to ask if it's possible that some of Pascal's visions don't come through. He says it's hard to know because Pascal was injected many times with the drug. Anna then looks for a syringe and injects herself with the drug. Elsewhere, Den walks around the facility looking for Pascal. He then sees a pool and looks scared. Shortly after, Pascal shows up and they start fighting. As Pascal then knocks Den to the ground, he says he hoped they could surprise him. Anna shows up, and just before he goes to meet her, Pascal knocks Den out and pushes him into the pool to drown. He then fights with Anna, who uses her visions to master his moves. Suddenly, Den happens to still be alive, and he drags Pascal into the water and kills him before coming out. However, this turns out to be Pascal's vision, and seeing that he dies, he changes what he does by stabbing Den before pushing him into the water. Instead of immediately fighting Pascal, Anna runs to save Den, and with this, Pascal avoids death. Elsewhere, Leighton arrives at the facility and goes straight to the bunker. He unlocks it and shouts at Jeremy, who looks surprised as he asks why Leighton came. Suddenly, Leighton's cigarette drops to the floor, and since gas has been leaking into the bunker, the room blows up, and both men die. Just then, Anna takes Den outside and sees Pascal at the top of the building. As she takes her eyes off him, he disappears. Anna then starts crying as she looks at Den and hopes he's still alive when help gets to them. Thanks for tuning in. A thumbs up would be amazing because I've got some bills to pay.
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right?